Hello, everyone. Happy New Year, and it's great to be back. I must apologize for being away for a few months, I think, because I was on vacation and a much needed rest. But I have managed to recoup, and rest assured that you are all on my mind, especially my Kadagam Raasi natives who are going through Ashtama Sani or stepping into the first leg of the Ashtama Sani, especially the Punarpusam fourth padam. All right, so this video is a four-part series, or maybe I would make it a five-part series. So I'll talk about Ashtama Sani for Kadagam Raasi as we go along, as the months progresses. So this is the first part, more of an introduction and what you can expect. So I'm going to show a chart which depicts just two planets, the moon, which represents what Rasi you are actually. So your mindset and your destiny and your thought about your mindset. And this is where I talk about the mindset, which kind of relates to your past life, your immediate past life to this. So your thought patterns and your interests in life, like you may be interested in music, for example, and you may be good in mathematics but not good in art, or vice versa. But how do you come to an understanding of that? How does karma actually govern us in terms of skill? Well, that is one part Rasi. So without dwelling much on that subject, here I'm showing you the chart for Kadagam Raasi and where Sani is placed. So the moon, okay, this house number 1 and house number 8, I have to put a bit of a disclaimer saying that is actually from the Rasi, not the Lagnam. House number 1 doesn't represent the Lagnam. It's only because transits affect the Rasi house more than the Lagnam. So you are definitely Kadagam Raasi who are going through Ashtama Sani, but your Lagnam could be Meena Lagnam or Simha Lagnam, or could be Kadagam Lagnam itself. So it really depends. And you, as I always say, you have to have your chart checked by an able astrologer. Or if you want me to do it as well, please reach out to me. The description of my contact details are in the description of the channel below. Anyhow, Saturn is 8 houses away from the moon, as I've shown here. And Sani, let's talk about Sani in this house, which is a house of Kumbham. Sani is very comfortable in his house. It is a Stiram house. Stiram means it is fixed, immovable, immobile. Sani doesn't like to move. Sani is a very complacent, very lazy kind of a planet. That's why he takes about 2.5 years to move from one house or one bhava to the next bhavam. So it takes about 2.5 years. The quickest is obviously the moon. So about 2 days, 2.25 days or 2.27 days. He actually it's a she, because we depict the moon as mother. So she stays in one house 2.5 days, roughly. And that's why one lunar month is about 29.25 days, a complete lunar cycle. So going through the 12 houses. Anyway, so now it is interesting for Kadagam Raasi natives, Ashtama Sani, because Sani is becoming an Astama agent, right, for the quickest planet, which is the moon. I know moon is not a planet per se, but in the astrological world, we represent moon as a planet. And the reason for that is actually, and this is the interesting bit, the moon is actually represented by the planet Earth, right, where we are, and that's where our mind is. Notice that in the Rasi chart, that's the typical South Indian, North Indian, or even the Eastern Indian chart system, right? So we have the 9 planets, including Rahu, Ketu. So 7 physical planets, 2 illusionary planets. But there's no representation of the Earth, and the Earth is kind of important, right? because that's where we are, and the karma eventually ends where we are. Because the way I always depict karma is actually bouncing. It is actually coming off the nakshatra of your Janma nakshatra, getting the karmic energies from whichever planet sitting on its current nakshatra, and bouncing off the planet, like Sani bouncing off Saturn. So it's coming from your nakshatra, which is many light years away, bouncing off Saturn, and then coming into our spine, where we are standing on the face of the earth. So there's no representation of the earth. It's actually depicted by the moon. Rasi, mindset, destiny, thinking about destiny, our day-to-day thoughts. It's all about the moon. And the moon is a planet, is the only planet that can grow and shrink. So Saturn kind of likes that, likes to actually put on the challenging effects for the moon. So Kadagam Raasi natives, it is kind of interesting to note that on a full moon's day, that means you have a complete planet. Your moon is the planet. Purnami day, full moon day, right? That means the exact opposite of where your moon is placed is where the sun is, Suryan. So father and mother, they are opposite each other, and you have a complete mindset. You have a strong will, and you are able to withstand the challenges of life. And the other side, I mean, of course, so growing and shrinking planet, which is the moon. You have crescent moon, half moon, all right, and the sliver of a moon. That means the light is just starting to come up from a new moon. So the moon represents the strength level of your mind. So how strong or weak you are in facing the challenges of life, right? So in this Kadagam Raasi Ashtama Sani, Sani being in the Stiram Rasi, very slow, and he's in his element, because Kumbham Bhavam, between Kumbham and Magaram, Sani owns these two houses. Sani likes Kumbham anyway. That's a bit of the framework, the astrological framework, which is unnecessary at this point, but let me just be very quick about what I'm trying to say. So this is just a placement of showing how Ashtama Sani is. And Ashtama Sani in the past, two Rasis, which was Midhunam was just before this. Midhuna Rasi is owned, it's Gemini, owned by Mercury, which is Sani's friend. And the Ashtama Sani before that was for Rishabham, owned by Venus. Rishabham is Taurus, owned by or governed by the planet Venus. So Venus and Mercury, Rishabham and Midhunam, they are both Sani's friends. Kadagam, which is the moon, represents the first house after a long time, represents an enemy for Sani. So Sani really likes to hurt the enemy. But now, that is the general view. And there is a lot of nuances, a lot of intricacies. So moon, when you were born in your birth chart, in your Rasi chart, if this is where the moon, looking at the two planets, moon and Sani, if this is the configuration, you are going through Ashtama Sani now. Now, let me show you the drishti, or being in Ashtama Sani, which site, which other houses does Sani look at? And in the astrological viewpoint, in the Vedic astrological viewpoint, whichever house Sani looks at, he destroys it just by his sight. He's kind of like the black hole of the astrological system. So I'm showing you all the same chart, but I have just put in a bit more images. And you can see 3 arrows in blue. So Sani is looking at house number 2, house number 5, and house number 10 from your Rasi, not your Lugnam. Okay, that is the first point. And you can see on the on the borders of the chart, I've put in other names of planets: the Moon, Sun, Mars, Saturn, which happens twice, and Mars again. So house number 5 and 10 is houses owned by the planet Mars. And house number 5 is Vrichagam, owned by Mars. House number 10 is Mesham, Aries, owned by Mars. House number 2 is actually Simmam, right? Simha Rasi, owned by Suryan. All right, so he's the governor of that house. Saturn is a natural owner of house number 7 and 8 from Kadagam Raasi, right? So he, as you can see, the two luminary planets is on the right side, moon and sun. Sun is the primary luminary of our solar system, although it's technically is a star, but we take it as a planet. The moon just bounces, reflects the rays of the sun. So again, sliver the moon, and some days it's a white light from the moon, some days it's a yellow light from the moon, and that's a whole different video that we can have on that. On the extreme other end of the luminary planets, furthest away, house number 7 and 8, that's where Sani is. Saturn is shadow planet, dark planet. He doesn't give off anything good, any light in your life. That's why Ashtama Sani, or Sani itself, represents the darkness of your life, challenges, conflict, self-doubt, imprisonment, accident, illness, chronic illnesses where there is no solution, there's no remedy. Broken bones, because Sani represents bones, injuries to the joint pain, kidney stones, right? So Sani represents stones, anything that you do not need in this world, enemies, right? So they are furthest away from the light, hence placement-wise, it is over there. And Sani, between house number 7 and 8, so Sani owns both these houses, Magaram and Kumbham. House number 7 is Magaram, house number 8 is Kumbham. 7 is movable, 8 is fixed, immovable houses. Sani is he prefers immovable aspects, so he's very comfortable there, and that is Mula Trikona house. So naturally, he's looking at the arrows, looking at the houses where the arrows represent. Third house from itself, 7th house from itself, and house number 10 from where it is placed from itself, which is house number 2, 5, and 10. Now, he effectively destroys house number 2, 5, and 10. And let's talk about these houses first. So for Kadagam Raasi, 2nd house from the moon, from the Rasi. House number 2 is a very important house in Vedic astrology. It represents income, family life, confidence, speech, strength of speech. I mean, when you talk, who listens to you? Family, friends, they come to you for advice. So Sani has destroyed this family life, good standing in family, right? Getting a good name in family, it's all destroyed. And most importantly, for a middle-aged person, income capabilities is destroyed. So he touches on your employment at your place of work, your job, your boss, because house number 2 is a house owned by Suryan, which also represents boss, right? Managers, the king. I mean, those days it was for the king. These days it's the manager, someone who can really influence your life in terms of income capability. Because in the present world, we are all about working to gain an income, to live a comfortable life. There is no need to go and fight to expand your kingdom for the king, right? No need to go and conquer lands and stuff. So these days, it's all about conquering income capabilities and growing in the corporate ladder, being destroyed for the next 2.5 years. House number 5, right, is a Purva Punyasthanam, is the house, most importantly, children and luck. So Sani is a planet which has one leg in your past karma, and that is why he is the Karagan, the significator for past karma, because he's the one who has got access to your past life through the Natchatram, which has records of your karma. It is all imprinted there. Hence, Purva Punyasthanam, you need luck. Sani effectively for Kadagam Raasi in the next in the next 3 years, he has actually kind of put it on hold. You don't have luck, you have bad luck, right? So he has destroyed that. He has destroyed children. He has destroyed children in the sense of, again, you have to look at your individual chart. He just means that he's giving your children a hard time. They are not successful. They are not succeeding in their schoolwork, in exams. They are not able to succeed in getting a job, in moving up in the corporate world, or in your children's family life, if they are married and have children of their own. So it is damaging all that. And house number 10, right? That is the karma sthanam in itself. Karma, not in the sense of past good deeds or bad deeds. It's not the action reaction. Karma in this sense. House number 10 is interesting because it represents your action, your day-to-day action. And for Mars, between house number 5 and house number 10, Mars is quicker, moves quicker, because Mars is a fiery planet, house of fire, a planet of fire. House number 10 is a house of fire. It's quick. Mesham, Aries is a quick house. Sani is putting on a boundary for that. And house number 10. So your quick actions that should give out quick responses, quick outcomes, is inherently delayed. The output comes very slowly, right? Or there is no output at all. So it's interesting in this sense for Kadagam Raasi. House number 1, house number 2, 5, and 10. Right. So whichever houses that is influenced by Ashtama Sani at this time for the next 3 years, they are all friends, meaning that Suryan, Sandharan, Savai, which is Mars, Moon, Mars, and Sun, they are friends. And on the other side is Sani, which are mortal enemies for all 3 planets. He actually literally hates the planets of light. He hates the moon and the sun. And I mean, the mythical story is that the Sani is actually the ill-gotten son of the planet Sun, of Suryan, right? So he is born out of wedlock, and the father, Suryan, actually kicks Sani because he doesn't accept him as a son. And he's got dark complexion and very ghastly looking. I mean, that's the mythical story, just to say that they are mortal enemies, right? And the moon, in this sense, for the mother of Sani, is known as Chaya Devi. Chaya is in shadow, and that's why Sani, born out of that mother, is actually dark, like a shadow itself, and he only thinks shadowy thoughts, right? Very wicked thought, very always about shortcuts, always about hurting people to get what he wants. So that's why Sani doesn't mind hurting you, unlike Jupiter, Guru. Guru wants to do good. Guru is the only planet that's prepared to give you good. Sani is the only planet that is prepared to give you bad anytime. I know some of the audiences, okay, this is another debate, but I'll just drop a bit of it here. Sani is also, and this is true, Sani is also the significator of spiritual life. Right, so this is an interesting point. It only happens when Sani, Guru, and Ketu, right? They have a linkage in terms of Natchatram, or they are in Kendra houses from each other, or they have a drishti or conjunction. Ketu, Sani, and Jupiter, and you have a spiritual life, right? That's a whole other topic, whether spiritual life is needed in our life to achieve material gain. Remember, house number 2, 5, and 10, they're all about material gain. And Sani comes in the form of Ashtama Sani to destroy your capability of getting into material gain. And hence, because you are not getting material progress for the next 3 years during Ashtama Sani, you think that you would want to approach God, and you unknowingly you step further into the spiritual realm, into your spiritual journey. How long you're going to sustain after Ashtama Sani is over, once your material capabilities or your achievement in the material world comes back after Ashtama Sani, How long you can sustain spiritual life? Well, that all depends on your individual chart, what dasa bhukti is running. So always we know that during Ashtama Sani, your dasa bhukti is put on hold. It doesn't work. It works like 10% of the time. And this is another point that I'm trying to make here for Kadagam Raasi. If you are Kadagam Raasi individual, whichever Laknam you are, doesn't matter. If you're running a Sandra Dasa, Moon Dasa or Moon Bhukti right now, Moon Bhukti is strong, small, shorter period, but a Moon Dasa of 10 years. If you're running that and Ashtama Sani at the same time, well, you can expect a really bad, or rather, I would say, a really challenging time. Now, the moon is another planet. It's the only planet, in fact, which can have a visible eclipse. I mean, I am saying that other planets also, when they move over another one physically in the sky, in the night sky, it is effectively an eclipse. But because we are on the Earth, and I said that the moon actually, you can swap Earth to represent the moon where we are, right? So that is the planet which we can either see a solar or a lunar eclipse standing on the surface of the Earth, depending on where you are, placement, and also the tilt of the moon, because sorry, the tilt of the Earth, because we are tilted 23 and 1/3 degrees, I think. Right? The Earth is not spinning on the equator in a perfect horizontal way. There is actually a tilt. So depending again on the time, on the day that you were born, whichever year, whether there was an eclipse, solar eclipse, partial solar, partial lunar, full solar, full lunar eclipse. That all depends on where Rahu, Ketu is placed. But it really needs you to have an Amavasa condition where the sun and the moon is in the same house, and then Sani is there 8 houses away. So the damage it's going to be severe because it's going to be the same kind of pressure that Sani gives, but it all depends on your ability to comprehend and face the challenges, whether you're strong-minded or weak-minded. Ashtama Sani is effectively designed to give you one thing: mental anguish. So if you're a mentally weak person, individual, again, you have to have your chart checked, and you would know effectively what kind of a person you are. And again, for Kadagam Raasi, it is a bit interesting because the moon itself, Saturn, represents your mindset. And again, I'm just repeating myself. The moon is just the only planet that can grow and shrink in terms of crescent moon, half moon, full moon, or no moon, and eclipse functionalities. So challenges are going to be the same. Sani knows how much pressure to give you and how you would respond to the challenges. Anyhow, this is just the first part. And of course, we have to look at the Natchatram and the 9 padams of Kadagam Raasi, which is Punarpusam 4th padam, which is, if you are Punarpusam, I would say that is the best because it's a split Natchatram. The first 3 padams are in Midana Rasi, which is over. So if you are 4th padam and you are Kadagam Raasi, you'd only go through the negative or challenging time of Sani, Ashtama Sani, for about the first 7-8 months. And then you have Pusam Natchatram, and you have Ailiam Natchatram. Pusam is owned by Sani itself, Saturn. Ailiam is owned by Mercury. Right? So you have 1 padam of Jupiter, Punarpusam, 4 padams of Pusam, and another 4 padams of Ailiam. So they are the 9 padams of the Nakshatrams that you can have. And Sani would give different kinds of pressure challenges for this. That is another video by itself. But a good thing for Kadagam Raasi, now I've said all the challenges and the negatives. Let me give let me drop a hint of positive. Somewhere in April, I think the third week, you have Guru Perchi. So Guru is actually moving to where house number 10 is now. And when Guru is there, so now Guru is in house number 9, he's going to go in house number 10 in April. And Guru's own drishti will look at house number 2, being governed by the sun. So Sani is looking at house number 2 as part of his Ashtama Sani and destroying house number 2, income. But Guru is coming in April just to give you a hint of an assistance, like a helping hand will come. You will face financial challenges, okay? Don't get me wrong. Challenges will be there, but help will come when you ask for it. All right, so this is a plus point for Kadagam Raasi natives, which the other Ashtama Sani experiences in the past didn't actually get it. This is it's like a golden nugget has come down to assist you at the appropriate time. So, and he's looking at Simha Lagna. This is the time where Guru will allow you to have access to your ancestors. Ancestral help will come after April. Talk to them, ask them for assistance. If you know your Kuladevam temple, if you know your ancestral temple, ancestral grave, gravestone, cemetery, if you're of that kind of culture where you can have assistantship in that way, go for that. It'll come. Anyway, more about Ashtama Sani for Kadagam Raasi natives in my next video, hopefully in a week time. So now I'm back and I would upload more content for you guys. So feel free to drop a comment, hit the like and subscribe button. Start a discussion, reach out to me in my email, which is details are in the channel description, and we will talk more soon. And don't worry, this is a channel to help each other, help my clients, help my fellow folks, kins out there who are experiencing a challenging time. I'm just here to tell you that you are not alone. Do reach out and we will talk more offline if you would like it that way. So thank you very much, everyone. Stay safe. Happy New Year once again, and God bless. Thank you.